Let us be honest. A country like the United States don't just spend millions and millions of US dollars just for goodwill. So recently, Burkina Faso signed a joint health agreement with United States with over 147 million US dollars involved. A 5-year agreement health deal with the United States. It's equally important to know that Burkina Faso is also expected to contribute over 100 million US dollars, in partnership for this health cooperation with the United States. So the partnership deal conditions both United States and Burkina Faso. So mutual conditioning that comes for both parties when it comes to in the areas of funding, implementation, accountability, obligations. About things I find interesting about Africa, please do take a moment to subscribe. So this is surprising, and why does this matter? It matters because knowing the history of Western powers with African country or in African continents when it comes to investments and health, people are just like wondering, or critics are just wondering, like, how would this work? How would this happen? It's not just another way the United States, a Western power is trying to get a soft power grab from the Sahel states, from these countries that has been anti-West, all this while. Burkina Faso is one of the countries of the Alliance of Sahel States, the 3 countries that made up the Alliance of Sahel States, alongside with Mali and Niger. You see, this bloc, the Alliance of Sahel States, has been actively distancing themselves from anything that has to do with the Western powers, any connection with the Western powers. But the bloc has been leaning towards Russia and China as a better alternative when it comes to foreign alliance. You see, the Alliance of Sahel States has actively pushed for more economic and political sovereignty from the Western powers. And here we are now with Burkina Faso signing a deal with the United States with all the American first policies that Trump has been making. And also it's getting people more worried. That's how would this work? Well, from the United States perspective or standpoint, this health deal with Burkina Faso stands for 3 key interests for the United States. The US says it's working towards containing global health threats, starting recently with Burkina Faso. They say that the Sahel states are considered as the front line of infectious diseases. The United States wants to gain a kind of access into the Sahel, since the Sahel states has been pushing against any form of Western control or influence in this region. Again, the United States wants access to natural resources. Also, access into the health data system of this country, Burkina Faso. So who knows or who can tell what the agreement or the outcome of this agreement will be in the long run. And then flipping over to government of Burkina Faso on the acceptance of this health investment deal with the United States. So it looks like a calculated risk because the funds for functional health investments or functional modern health care system for Burkina Faso is very huge. So despite resisting any form of foreign dependence, Burkina Faso still needs a working or functioning healthcare system. So for Burkina Faso, the agreement targets disease surveillance, catch up with the disease before it spreads, treatments and control, massive laboratory tests and capacity. So from the standpoint of Burkina Faso government, you cannot reject help, no matter where it comes from, so long as Burkina Faso or the Alliance of Sahel States bloc is concerned, so long as it's not coming from France. So since Burkina Faso's government deems it necessary that Burkina Faso needs modern health care facilities, why not? That's why they're partnering with the United States to provide or to put in place good healthcare system for Burkina Faso. Accepting a good healthcare deal from the United States is not bad for the country, so long as it is watched. Because it's like taking external help that can support internal capacity, so long as it's going to benefit Burkina Faso. Though some African countries has rejected similar deals over sovereignty issues or concerns, but Burkina Faso negotiated, and we are hopeful that all things being equal, there won't be issues coming out from this deal. Well, to sum it up, looking at the immediate future and assessing all the risk, the deal will likely produce quick and immediate health improvement for Burkina Faso. And you see other alliance states like Mali and Niger, who are in alliance with Burkina Faso, are watching closely, right? They could copy the model if it works, but if it backfires, that means total rejection of Western connection or Western alliances. If this deal agreement, health agreement, it will lead to more strenuous relationship between these countries and the Western countries. More strenuous relationship between this bloc and the Western powers. This bloc once pushed away the Western militaries recently, you know, and they will likely do it again on this deal, this health deal, if it does not work. So you see, this deal will not yet be approved by what is signed on paper, but by what it becomes, knowing what African countries or African continent has been through with the Western powers. Even if it's just a risk worth taking, is it worth it? Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Please do not forget to like and subscribe, because here I talk about things I find interesting about African narratives and African stories, or stories making the headline. See you on the next one, and thank you for watching.